Today on The Pulse, opportunities in Prince George's County are right around the corner. Plus, have you taken a good look at your communication strategy lately? Coming up next. It's Economic Development Week in Prince George's County. The only show in town dedicated to helping Prince George's County businesses. Hello, I'm Denise Roberts and welcome to The Pulse, the show dedicated to helping Prince George's County businesses. Today's first guest is going to tell you about some major opportunities with Prince George's County government. Jack Sloan is an Associate Director in the Office of Central Services. Jack, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Well, happy to be here.
Oh, thank you. So, in the Office of Central Services, what is your role as the Associate Director?
My primary role is to oversee all of the county's vertical construction programs. Now, these are not private, these are the public programs.
Okay.
But we typically have an annual inventory of projects that we're managing of $100 million a year.
Wow.
Substantial program.
Yeah, absolutely. What are some of those opportunities that are coming up in the near future?
We have 28 major programs that will be bid within the next year. Everything from a $20+ million library in Hyattsville, a indoor firing range for the public safety that will be 300 yards in length inside a firing range. We have a homeless shelter that hopefully will be started within 6 months. Several police stations, fire stations. It's a very active program. Prince George's County is very blessed to have the resources to engage in the construction programs that we do.
What is the first step for a company who wants to do business with the county and get involved in those projects?
The first step is to become registered as a vendor in Prince George's County. In order to get a contract and to be paid, you have to be a registered vendor in the SAP, or the financial system in the county. The other first step, I would say, is start attending pre-bids, getting to know some of the larger general contractors. When we have what we call a pre-bid, which is mandatory, and all general contractors and a lot of subs come to it to hear about the program, most of those general contractors will already have in mind the subcontractors they're going to bring to the project. So it's best to begin early meeting them. You may not get that job, but you may get the next one that comes along.
Okay. What out of those opportunities that you mentioned before are opportunities that are more suited for non-construction type firms?
We have a program that actually we will be bidding in the very near future. It is for what we call on-call full-service architectural and on-call construction management companies. When I say on-call, we actually will award them a contract for 3 years with 2 one-year extensions. Anytime we have a job that we want them to manage or design, if it's under $2 million for their task, we simply award it to them. We don't have to bid it. We will also be advertising for on-call general contractors. Again, a $2 million threshold. And we don't have to bid it, which means that a lot of the companies are not getting the opportunities to bid on them.
Tell me how that contract works. When you put that solicitation out, they're not bidding a price initially, right?
That is correct. They do have to provide a full firm profile. We do know some of what some of their fees will be, but generally we do not. For the on-call general contractors, we do not require that they provide a fee basis. Full service architecture, we do.
Okay. And so so essentially they're qualifying to get on a list.
They're pre-qualifying to be on the list, and that list simply requires that once we have a project, we can issue a task order letter that can be issued in 2 days, and they can begin work.
And they can begin work, but they have to. Only those companies on that list can compete and bid on that project.
That is correct.
Okay. All right. Where are the opportunities advertised? Where are the bids advertised? What is the county doing to get the word out?
There is a forecast that's on the county's website under the Office of Contract Administration and Procurement. And you can go on there, click on a link, and it'll come up with all the upcoming bid opportunities within the forthcoming month.
And as far as, are you actually doing other activities to get the word out in terms of forums or anything?
The county used to send out postcards based upon the work classification. They have stopped that. They are now looking at trying to establish inventory by sick numbers of that can be go out by email. That is not yet up and running.
Okay.
And the problem is we do find ourselves getting a very few number of bidders if we actually go on the street.
Okay. Okay. So, what does the county, when you put these contracts out, what does the county look for in their selection process?
Well, one of the first things, any project that we have, any contract that we have right now that's more than 1 year, we're being told we have to rebid them with the emphasis on procuring them and awarding them to county-based firms. So what we will do is we will look at whether or not it's you're a county-based firm, whether or not you're a county-based minority firm, whether or not you have the resources to do a certain type of job. Not every firm is going to be qualified to do a construction job.
Okay, hold that thought for just 1 second, okay? When we come back, the Small Business Club Member of the Month is next.
One in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation.
America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Congratulations goes out to the show's Small Business Club Member of the Month, Sheila Scott, CEO of a technology, program management, and consulting firm in Landover, Maryland. So get ready. Accelon Corporation, you're on.
Sloan Corporation is a management consulting company that focuses on quality of care, oversight, and monitoring of healthcare facilities. And that's why the job is very satisfying, because we help patients and residents in facilities every day, and we do make their lives better. We started it from scratch 21 years ago. Customer service is very important. If you do not satisfy a customer, then what's the point? Customer service means that you give your customers high quality work consistently. I was raised in a family that went to the Prince George's schools. I worked in Prince George's County for a substantial amount of time while they were in school. It was really the whole lifestyle of being in the county was great. We've had a good relationship with Prince George's Economic Development Corporation over the years. They evaluated our marketing strategy, social media presence, our online presence. They did research on our competitors. So it was very valuable. Working as an entrepreneur, you will work longer than you've ever worked for anyone in a job. It means you have a strong work ethic, being an optimistic person, regardless of what may be happening at the time. You have to be a leader, you have to be a good communicator. So an entrepreneur is a lot of things.
I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Welcome back to The Pulse. Our next guest is no stranger to the world of communications and media. Doris McMillon is President and Chief Strategic Officer for McMillon Communications Incorporated. Thank you for being here.
Denise, thank you for inviting me. This is a pleasure.
So tell me, how did you get started with McMillon Communications?
I have to tell everybody I'm an accidental entrepreneur. I thought I would die in the anchor chair. For those who are in this area, I used to anchor the news for WJLA, for BET, WHUT, and I thought I would just, do my last newscast, keel over, and they would pick my chair up and carry me out. But television is like sports. Sometimes you get cut, and I got cut in cost-cutting event at the station, and I ended up in business for myself. So all of the tools that I've learned as a broadcast journalist, I decided it's time for me to take those tools, and voila, McMillon Communications.
Wow, okay. So why is it important for a business to have a communication strategy?
Well, if you can't talk about your company, then who can? You have to be able to tell your potential client, I know you're out there watching potential clients, your story, and then how you can help them with their story.
Okay.
Stories are very important. Storytelling is very important. And so you have to be able to communicate what it is you do and how it's going to make a difference in the lives of your customers or in your own business.
Sure, sure. So when you've got communications, you've got marketing,
Right.
you've got branding.
Right.
What's involved in the communications process, and how does it all work together?
Well, it's all about communications. It's all about getting the story out, but there are different ways to do it. For instance, I think one of the first things a business ought to know is how to give their elevator pitch.
Okay.
My elevator pitch is very simple. I teach people how to effectively tell their story.
Okay.
That ain't hard.
No.
Okay. If I'm marketing, I'm constantly putting out materials to let people know what I'm doing, where I am, how I can help them with their business. If I have crisis communications, well, that's a whole other thing.
Yes.
We have to be able to manage the crisis.
Right.
We have to get to the bottom of the crisis, talk about the root cause, and then how to limit the fallout, and then how to rebuild.
Okay.
So there are all different levels of telling your story and making sure that people understand, you know, what you're about.
Okay. Who is the best person in your organization to communicate your messages?
Well, if you have not been prepared and trained, it may not be you.
Okay.
I was at a procurement outreach, and I was talking to the contracting officer, and he said, everybody in here needs to talk to you. He said, oftentimes when companies come in to talk about the bid, you know, they've submitted an RFP,
Sure.
the technical proposal is tight, looks really good, da-da-da-da-da-da. However, when it's time for them to come in to do the orals,
Yes.
there's the procurement guy said to me, he said, is it the same person?
Right.
Did they do all of this?
Right, right.
So I would say to the CEOs, if you haven't been trained, if you haven't been prepared to tell your story or to talk about the proposal that you're submitting, find the best person in the office who can do that.
Okay.
It may not be you unless you've been trained. So find the best person who can really tell your story, who can talk about why your contract should be the one on record.
Okay. Now, when it comes to strategy, what's the first thing you need to do when you're forming or creating that strategy?
It's almost like being an evangelist, which I am.
Okay.
I want to tell my story about what I was like before, how I came to be where I am, and what's happening right now. So I want to encourage people, business owners, to tell their stories. Format it like that,
Okay.
and then not just you tell it. Get your team members, your employees, to be evangelists for your company,
Okay.
to be able to tell the story. There's so many young business owners out here, young and old, okay, so we all fall in one of those categories.
Sure.
But we have a story to tell,
Okay.
and it is why we are in business, and it's why we're good at what we do,
Okay.
and we need to be able to communicate that.
What's one piece of advice that you have really quickly for creating that message?
What is the most important thing that you have to sell?
Okay.
And be able to talk about that. But let me take it even beyond that. It's not always about you. Find out about your customer and what they want.
Okay.
You may offer the greatest thing since sliced bread and sunshine, but if that's not what the customer needs, then you need to find out what the customer needs, and then you need to move in that direction.
Sure, sure. Okay. All right, Doris McMillon, it's been such a pleasure to have you on here today, and you're such the expert. We know we're gonna have you back on again.
Well, from your lips to God's ears, and this has been a real blessing.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, and thank you. And that's our show for today. Thank you for tuning in. Previous episodes of The Pulse are posted on our website, diversity.mypgc.us, and click on The Pulse. Our Twitter and Facebook handles are @PGCDiversity, and our YouTube channel is The Pulse TV. If you would like to join our small business club for a chance to showcase your business on this show, Send an email with the link to your company website to sddoutreach@co.pg.md.us. I'm Denise Roberts, and remember, in Prince George's County, your success is our success.